everybody, what's going on? The Plowzone is here with my co-host Scott M. Reese.
How's it going out there?
Keith St. John. Doing a Zoom thing right now, man. He's got a bunch of things going on. He's always busy. The man is always busy, but he's got some things going on he wants to share with us, man. So let's start with the masks, man. So, hey, you started these masks for the coronavirus, correct?
That's right. Well, yeah, it just kind of came out of nowhere. Me and my partner, Sherry Lou, we were already we were starting a clothing line for rock and roll clothes, and we actually started some custom work for all kinds of people, Brad Gillis and just all kinds of guys that I know that needed clothes. And so we had sewing machines around, we had material, we had stuff going on, and then this Corona thing hit, and we started thinking about ordering our own face masks, and we said, well, why don't we just make some? You know, we got all this stuff. Let's make some. And they look kind of cool. And we showed some of our friends, and they're like, man, you guys should just make a bunch of them and see what happens. So we did. We put up a quick little company on the web. And it's really easy. Just start a little thing on the social media and put up a website. We started rock and roll face masks. We got all these patterns. Actually, you know what? This is kind of what they look like. So they have these like elastic straps on the side here. I got the one that I was wearing. Right? They're adjustable. You tie them. It's got a inner organic cotton lining for people who like organic cotton only on their face. The outer is 100% cotton as well. This pouch slips a little filter inside of it. You can order those rectangular kind of sort of clothy, papery filters. You get about 200 for about $10, and you stick them in here. And every time, then you're 100% protected.
So if someone wants to get a hold of you and buy a mask, where do they go?
They can go to one of three places. They can go to keithstjohn.com. They can go to rockandrollfacemasks.com. Go to rockandroll, A-N-D, facemasks.com. Or look up any of the above on Facebook, and they can find these. And there's a video that's a 1-minute video that'll show you everything about them really fast. And a really nice, easy ordering page, easy to order off of, easy communication. There's a ton of patterns, and you can find them online.
Right here, man. Plowzone Radio Show Mask, man.
Shazam!
Welcome
to Spirituality Gone Wild. Woo!
What's going on, everybody? The Plowzone is here again for the second installment of Plowzone Gone Wild, man. So we got a great panel. We got a great flow going today, man. Scott Reese, why don't you introduce everybody what's going on?
Well, we have a great guest today. His name is Mark McGee. He has a new band. It's called Love Planet. And he is a former guitar player for Greg Allman. He is a sessions player for Marty Thomas, or what is it? Mickey Thomas. I'm sorry. From the band. God, I'm just blanking on it. Anyway, he played with Stu Ham. He also played with the Vicious Rumors, which is a local Bay Area band. He's a great guitar player, and he's coming on, and it's going to be awesome. And we have Halie O'Ryan. Halie O'Ryan's coming on.
Okay, we got Halie O'Ryan, man, is our global correspondent, man, and she's going to be sitting in today too. We got Debbie G over there, which is always the referee, the moderator, because the Plowzone has gone wild, man. And wild means, I don't know, means we're doing video with the radio stuff, man. So it's going to be very cool, man. We got great interviews. It's going to be an hour or a half of just pure going wild Plowzone style, man, for sure.
I love that. Okay, yeah, Spirituality Gone Wild style. Wild is uninhibited. Wild is without boundary. Wild is freedom. So I encourage everybody tonight to just hang out, hang tight, really embrace what you're getting ready to experience, because I happen to know that a lot of beauty is getting ready to flow. So, but before we go there, all right, so check this out. Plowman had a birthday. You're now
Oh,
you've now
yeah.
you've entered into our realm, our 50 realm. Dude, this was like
Yes.
really cool. You had a great time. I unfortunately missed it, but it looks like fun. And I want to show everybody, we want to show everybody exactly what you did for your birthday. But why don't you tell us a little bit about it first?
Well, I'm glad I'm not turning 50 again for a while because it was a lot of work.
Dude,
We
what
had
were you
A lot of
doing?
work.
It was a lot of work, man. Well, for one, it was on a hillside, and for two, the water slide. We had a water slide from man. What would you say, Scott Reese? How was the water slide?
It was a
Huh?
good 50 feet, 50, 100 feet.
Yeah, so we had a water slide down the hill. We got the old banners from the Wheatland Amphitheater, the leftovers when they traded names, changed names, and all that. So we did that off the side of the hill. Plus, we had an open mic jam session, and we had just a bunch of some bands and musicians and good friends out there, and had a great time. Had a barbecue,
And
and
everyone
my brother
stayed
showed up.
6 feet apart. We all stayed 6 feet apart.
Everybody stayed 6 feet apart, unless we were going down the slide. Then we were 20 feet apart because
Did
some takes off.
did you really stay 6 feet apart?
Yeah.
I
Did
did
you
because
wear-
I was moving so much, trying to keep everything going.
You're always moving so much, Plowman. I swear to God, you can't nail this guy down ever.
No, not
No.
at
No,
all.
you can. Yeah, you can nail me down in the bed the last couple of days because I was sore as hell from Saturday. So
Well, when you see,
give him
and I just
some
want to say that
rubos.
Scott has not seen the
yes.
video that I made that got made about him yet for his birthday. So
No.
it's a surprise.
Can I play it?
Cool, let's see it.
Yeah, let's play it.
Let's play it. I'm pretty sure this is it. I hope this is it. Is this it?
Go ahead, Debbie G.
That's not it. Hold on a minute here. Where is it?
I mean, there's somewhere.
All right, y'all. I hope you realize I'm fired now.
You are.
Wait a
That's all right. Reese's been fired 5 times. Anyway, the Plowzone radio show is gone wild, and we do video stuff now. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to get you on the show. You want to come in studio at Ozcat Studios? You want to be a guest on here with the 10 questions? Get a hold of us at what, Scott Reese?
The PlowZoneRadioShow.com. Check us out on Spirituality Gone Wild with the lovely Debbie G. And we're
Lovely Debbie G.
This is so fun.
And we're not going to listen to my dog have a fit right now, but we are going to.
No.
What we are going to do, shh, quiet. I'm going to sprinkle water on him. What we are going to do, though, is bring up our first guest. And I'm excited to do this. And I will have that Plowman birthday bash video before the end of this show. So you better stay tuned because you're not going to see it unless you stick with us. And hey, to the audience right now, we love you. Let's rock and roll, baby.
So let's welcome Mr. Mark McGee.
Let's get a little rock and roll history right here. Hey there, come in. Yeah.
Nice. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Doing good. How y'all doing?
Welcome to the Plowzone.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
What's up, Plow? Good to see y'all. Hey, Dad.
What's up, man? So what part of the country you at, man? What part of the world you in?
I'm in Sonoma County.
Wait a minute. You're in Sonoma County?
Yeah, Northern California.
Ooh.
Wait a minute. So
all right,
am I.
right.
Well, what up?
So is she.
I'm Hidden Valley Lake.
Somebody down the street that looks just like you guys.
So are you.
So is he.
So
Born
is
and
Scott.
raised,
So is Debbie.
He's in Sonoma, and she's in Sonoma.
And so is Halie. Okay, Hidden Valley
Halie.
Lake.
Local yokel.
I'm Hidden Valley Lake. Isn't that near Sonoma County? Isn't that in Sonoma? Isn't that right next to it?
Yeah, I think you're near Santa Rosa, I think. So, yeah, somewhere.
You know what, man? Let's get Halie in here. Let's get Halie in here just because. Come on, let's just throw a whole to the gears, man. Let's go.
Well, we will
Bring
do
in
that.
Halie, man.
How's that?
That is great. Hey, Halie.
There she is.
Party.
There she is.
I cannot stop smiling. Hi, Mark. Hi, Scott and Scott.
There she is.
Everybody listening? It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
All right.
So we're up in California here. Yeah.
Rock on.
So Mark,
Yes,
so
sir.
Mark, let's go get on with this, man. So, man, what was your influences in the music, man? What made you get into music? Say guitar or whatever it is, man. What's the first music you heard as a child? Say, or yeah.
And you know, I'm the youngest of 3 boys. My oldest brother had a guitar in the house. So somewhere between me going in his room and, you know, making a bunch of noise on that out of curiosity, somewhere between that and, you know, the Jackson 5 and the Osmonds and Hee Haw being on TV, it's probably where it all started. Yeah, you know, I remember being fascinated with Roy Clark when he'd come on and play the fiddle, and then he'd come on and play the mandolin, and he was always just shredding. But yeah, you know, probably when I was 7 or 8, it got a little more serious. You know, seeing a picture of Kiss when I was a young kid, that kind of like blew me out a little bit. But you know, there's so much great music in the 70s that was coming out. So I guess I'm dating myself, but so it was a great time to be learning guitar. You know, when I was 10 or 11 and learning guitar, I mean, every kid on the block was learning how to play guitar. There was no video games. It was all about learning guitar. So it just happened that it was my path and it was meant to be, and here I am still doing it. So now I'm 30 and I'm still playing. So
still pretty. There you go.
Very cool, man. So hey, I got another question for you, man. Whoever gave you your best advice, that you still remember today?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
There's a lot of old school adages.
Yeah, it sure is.
You know, Greg Allman used to say when he was interviewed and they'd ask him about what made you choose your band members, he would always say, well, you know, somebody when I was young told me to surround yourself with people more talented than you. So that was nice of him to say that, but that's not a bad thing to think, you know, bring in the best, and that way it pushes you to grow, you know. But, you know, I think just I had so many examples of ways that a band could come across professional, whether it was with the presentation with theatrics or the visuals. And again, it was such a great time for quality music that, you know, the bar was pretty high, you know. So, yeah. Trial and error, you know. My wife.
Right. Very cool, man. Yeah, Reese.
Okay. We were talking earlier, and he's part of the early '80s metal scene. So your bands that he used to hang out with the guys from Exodus, and what band were you in the early '80s?
Well, when I was 16 or so, I was in a band called Overdrive, and we never did any records, but we were together about 3 or 4 years, and we played lots of gigs at the Old Waldorf doing Metal Mondays and the Stone and the Keystone clubs. And back then, you know, Lost Rocket, Exodus, Vicious Rumors even, a lot of those bands were just local bands, Violation, Damage. There was a lot of cool bands back then, and it was a great time for music because there were so many nightclubs. And the cool thing to do was go hear a band or 3 bands on a bill that were all original unknown bands. And that was the hip thing to do. Go hear songs you never heard. You know, there was no tribute bands or anything like that. So it was a real creative time, you know. But yeah, so that was like my first real band doing real stuff. You know, we played shows with Blue Oyster Cult and Loudness and Rat and Quiet Riot and Y&T and those bands. And so Metallica, you know. Metallica
when they were
not
very big.
First show they ever played in the Bay Area.
Really?
Yeah, it was Old Waldorf and Metal Monday. It was Overdrive, Laws, Rocket, and Metallica. Yeah,
I was there.
Yeah, they didn't have Cliff in the band yet or anything. You know, it was early.
Nice. Debbie G, would you like to ask
10 questions out there, everybody?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, everybody out there, check it out. We're playing 10 questions, right? We're asking them questions and stuff like that. So we're going to bounce off each other and go around the room. And so I got one more for you, man. What's the craziest, biggest crowd you ever played for, man? What's the most rowdiest, say, largest crowd you ever performed for?
Yeah, rowdiest probably, you know, somewhere in Germany, somewhere in Holland, doing Vicious Rumors festivals or something. You know, the metal scene is pretty wild. Bunch of Vikings, you know, big things of ale, you know. But the largest crowd was definitely with Greg Allman, probably, you know, or perhaps the Summer of Love concerts in Golden Gate Park 7 or 10 years ago, 80 to 100,000 people.
Very nice. Very cool.
Dude, what was that like, man? That had to have been like the biggest rush.
You know, the big shows are easy. The small shows are the worst. The small shows are way more stressful to me. When you go out and you see a sea of people, they're there, they're ready, you feel the adrenaline. Like, all you got to do is do what you're there to do, you know? But when you play a nightclub that holds 500 and there's 250 people there and it doesn't seem that full, then there's just the pressure, right? So bigger crowds for me are much more comfortable, you know? You got the adrenaline, everything's working in your favor. So.
Super interesting perception. Thank you. That's awesome.
You know,
is it my turn yet?
Playing in front of 10
Your turn
is tricky, you know.
Your turn.
Playing in front of 10 people. I'm imagining that. I'm imagining that must be very true. I could see how that would make complete and total sense. That absolutely love that. All right, I would like to know what I'm always curious about with musicians, who are my favorite people on this entire earth. And the reason is because every time that you choose to express your art, you're expressing your soul to us, which is one of the most beautiful things. Musicians are the most vulnerable that I feel that we can experience the true nature who someone is. How do you tap into that nature? I've just told a big secret. I know.
Well, you know, it all starts at the source. Some people hide their vulnerabilities with humor or being loud or being aggro or whatever it might be. And those types of people are probably going to not reveal their vulnerabilities as much when they're a musician or in front of an audience. But, you know, I think when you're doing your own songs, there's a vulnerability because writing a song is one thing, working it up where you can perform it well is the next thing. Then if you record it, you know, it's being documented, and then eventually there's an old adage saying that, you know, you're never done, you just eventually stop when you're making a record. Because eventually you have to just say, okay, this is good, let's put it out, because you could polish the life right out of something, you know. So yeah, you know, it's a great rush though, you know, to be able to see the reaction of something that came from you, and it hits everybody different. You know, so if I played a song that I wrote for all of you guys, one of you might like it, one might hate it, and one might be on the fence, and I have to accept that all three of you are 100% right, because it's up to you, you know. So I made it, it's done, that's all I can do, you know. So that's why you shouldn't try to predict what people are going to like. Just do what you like and hope for the best, you know.
Yeah, it's very true.
I'm loving that, and that's a great segue into actually playing something I'm really super excited about. And that is a song that you and your wife actually used. She was your inspiration for this next song.
Actually, she had the idea for the songs. She wrote the words, and I helped her finish the music and arrange it. And yeah, The Day That Closed the World. You know, obviously what's going on has been emotional for everybody. And, you know, Nicole Sutton, she's a great songwriter. And so she wanted to get this out right away. So we did. And it was mixed by our pal, Brad Barth. And special video, you know, the band isn't in the video, just kind of imagery.
Beautiful. All right, here we go, everybody.
The day they closed the world, we all went inside and looked for ways to try to ease our minds, forced into a change. I guess it had to be this way. But do your best to try to stay away. The day they closed the world, we all went inside, looking for the light. The day they closed the world, we all realized what it means to try. To the love, don't you be afraid. There come a time when you will have your say, and don't forget to pray the Lord to keep us safe. We will live to fight another day. The day they closed the world, we all went inside looking for the light. The day they closed the world, we all realized what it means to try. I can feel it coming, I can see it miles away. I can feel the sun of brighter days. I can hear the laughter, I can see your smiling face. I can feel the love that's on the way. The day they closed the world, we all went inside looking for the light. The day they closed the world, we all realized what it means to try. The day they closed the world, we all went outside looking for the light. I can feel it coming, I can see it miles away. I can feel the sun of brighter days. I can hear the laughter, I can see your smiling face. I can feel the love that's on the way. I can feel it coming, I can feel it coming. I can feel it coming, I can feel it coming. The day they close the world.
All right.
Man, that was
Love
great.
it.
Great
Right.
song.
Absolutely fabulous.
Big number, you know.
Yeah.
Love our new record, Something Good, is coming out next month, and it's our 6th album for Love Planet. We actually put our first one out in 2003, and Nicole and I, we write the songs in the group, but all of our songs were always written with acoustic guitars, you know, and then we just build it from there. So to many people, people that know us, it's not a surprise, but people that only know the records, that's a little different presentation for them because it's just acoustics and vocals, even though our songs always start that way. But
Nice.
you know, our thing with our band is that, you know, we all are such fans of so many different types of music, whether it's Black Sabbath or the Grateful Dead, you know, jazz or classical. We love pop music. We love the Beatles and Queen and bands that are vocal bands, you know. So the one thing in this group that we always wanted was to have no rules stylistically, you know. Any type of song is welcome as long as it feels good, you know. So that's kind of our thing, you know. You never know what you're going to get, you know, on a Love Planet record.
Very cool. Mr. Plowman, got a question?
Yo. Yeah. So, what does music do for you spiritually? Does it do anything for you spiritually?
It does. It, you know, being a musician and on that path is not always an easy road. So the music is always what soothes you and kind of refuels you to keep going, if in fact the desire remains, you know. For me, it's when I started, the reason that I clung to the guitar is because it was giving something to me in here that I wasn't getting, you know. I mean, I was raised Catholic and I was an altar boy, and I'd go to church and I'd see them passing the baskets around for money. And I remember, at the age of 7 or 8 thinking, something's not right with that, you know. But when I first heard a guitar, I remember thinking, well, this is the feeling I think you're supposed to be getting when you go to church, you know? Like, to me, it was like a whole nother level. And I think that's why I clung to it. So that was the reason I definitely started playing, was the feeling it gave me. You know, it wasn't like I got into it to meet girls or be popular or make money. It was all about, this is good, you know. It was like kind of like a drug, you know. It was medicine, you know. I guess I needed it. But yeah, what it does for me spiritually is it allows me an outlet to express everything I'm feeling, you know. And the challenge is to take what you're feeling, sometimes tweak it so you're not 100% revealing yourself, you know. Sometimes you can, but other times you might say, well, that's a little deep, maybe a little personal. I'll tweak the verbiage a little bit, and, you know, maybe they don't know it's about me. But
well, you know what, man? You know what? You got your guitar right there right now. Why don't you tell us how you're feeling spiritually with your music right now, with your guitar right there? Get a rip. Note supply, baby.
Wow, nice.
Woo!
Yeah. So, Mark,
Halie,
who was your
Halie
first
O'Ryan
guitar
right there.
hero?
Haley, is there anything you want to add to this?
I really want to. Yeah, I know Haley's got to have a question because you guys, she's a badass
She does.
musician herself, man. So
I have pages.
We'll get to her later.
Questions for Mark. Pages.
oh, okay.
These are all for
Go
Mark.
ahead, Halie.
First off, I want to say that collaboration with your wife, what is her name?
Nicole Sutton.
Nicole Sutton. It felt so egoless, and that just made me just feel so, I don't want to say refreshed, but so it's kind of different as to what refuels us back as musicians. And just hearing the egoless, that whole thing with you two collaborating, I don't know what it's like to be a husband and wife in your household. And the fact that you're really talented, I can truly see that on my own. And to have her pour herself out with all of that, and to have you guys come together and just pour out, I just want to say thank you. That was incredible to hear.
Thank you. You know, we met in a recording studio. I was hired for a recording session to play some guitars for a songwriter. And that's how I met her in San Rafael. It was a session back in '99. And, you know, we just connected as people, and we had a lot in common musically, even though we came from different schools. Although we joke and say we're both from the hood, because I was born in Oakland and she was born in Detroit. But yeah, you know, our thing
Born
is,
in Oakland.
I couldn't fake anything if I had to. It's just not who I am, you know. Kind of wear my heart on my sleeve. But, you know, that's our thing. Like, you know, people have gimmicks, and I don't mind a gimmick. You know, I'm cool with that. But I've often said our only gimmick is that we don't have any gimmicks. You know, we're just authenticity is our drug. You know, that's what people like about us. You know, and sometimes people who aren't comfortable feeling maybe aren't comfortable with our music. You know, because you got to be good with feeling something if you're gonna like our music, because we're gonna make you feel something. So.
Well, and it felt like you both made room for each other, which I think personally should be a no-brainer. But the way that the 80s imagery of musicians was always to be these singular people going out into the world. And
Right.
I just find you guys both very refreshing. So that's not my question, but I wanted to say that to you, because it fills people back up. And that is, to me, what the blessing of music is. And so my question for you, if I picked one, so hard, there's another page.
You can have a couple of Halie.
I got 50 of them right now.
But it's great. You know, I have to watch everything I do. You know, some things go well and some don't. And what you said about it's up to the audience to decide. It is truly every moment up to, you can be completely miserable in the morning and accidentally upset the postman, and you don't know how a day or a message is going to go. So I really try to check myself a lot, and I feel as though you guys are walking that walk. At least your words in that song really said that. So my question is how do you guys see music with the COVID shutdowns and the rules and all the blah, blah, blah? What do you see music doing now, since you did have an opinion on tribute bands and good and bad or indifferent? Just where do you feel like it's going to merge from here? What do you see?
Yeah, I mean, there's room for every type of musician, whether you're original band or a cover band, whatever, that's all good. I often say, if everybody I knew who was in a tribute band also did an original band, well, then that would be cool. But as far as the scene, I really believe, when people say the new normal, that really bothers me personally, and I've heard somebody say, well, look, normal wasn't working for us anyway, and I disagree with that. I thought normal was pretty darn good. I believe that it's going to come back. I believe that crowds will assemble again. People will hug again. That's what humans do. We need interaction. We need the energy between people. That's a healing thing right there. That's helps us grow, helps us get through stuff. So I think that's a natural law that will override rules and regulations, and we're responsible, we're following the routine, but I'm eager to get in a room to a show, and honestly, if they said, hey, you guys want to play tomorrow, the rules are over, I'm there and I'm hugging people. I'm ready. I'm healthy, and I'm kind of a germaphobe anyway, so nothing's really changed for me that way, but
Exactly.
Agree.
so hopeful. We're hopeful. This song is a song of hope, but it's like a lot of our songs are lean towards the positive, not intentionally. It's just kind of how things roll with us. So, it is a real, genuine thing. Although, we're not role models. We're not better than anybody. We're not perfect, but, that's just, you blend a little of that with rock and roll. I think that's cool. When I was young, when I see shows, all of my favorite live records, when the singer was talking to the crowd, they'd always go, how you doing? You feeling good tonight? And I used to think, yeah, the 60,000 people would scream, yeah, and, isn't feeling good what it's about? Like, when did that not become enough? That's kind of how I feel about it. I think it is enough, come together, have a good time, let the energy uplift you, and, there you go.
Well, when you get a lot of like-minded people together, you all kind of meld together and you're all in the music scene. And when people play music that you love, it all is kind of a great feeling for everyone. And I want it back.
Yes. It's a healer. It really is a healer.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you.
Mr. Plowman.
Cool. All right. So if you could sit down and have a conversation with anybody from your past, or say something you've never met before, and just pick their brain, or even jam with them, or just say hello, give them a hug, who would it be?
Oh, wow. Well, it's from my past. It'd probably be my mom and dad. If it was to sit back and have a drink with them, probably Jimmy Page. If it was to sit down and play music together, that's a good question. Maybe Steven Tyler or Paul Stanley.
Never here, baby.
I have a lot. I have so many huge influences. When I was younger, I was into bands that had great singers and great guitar players. Like, everybody had to be good in those bands, But as I got older, I got way more into singers. So for me, it's all about the singer. I won't buy music if the singer doesn't do it for me. I got to be moved by the singer, So yeah, I could answer that question for years. Honestly, there's a lot of people that I mean.
Okay, here's another one. Here's another one. Say a kid comes up, he has a little potential, right? He wants to learn how to play guitar, right? He wants to learn to be a musician. What's the first thing you're going to teach him? What's the first thing you're going to say to him, as in teaching him the skill?
I'm going to tell him it's so fun and it's so easy.
Yeah.
It's the first thing he needs to hear.
Okay.
And then you say, think of all the different music you've ever heard: Metallica, Beyonce, classical music, country music. Whether you hate it or like it, how many notes do you think are used to create this music? And I've asked people this. I've had people say 500, you know. It's a great answer, you know. 12 notes. You know, there's only 12 notes, right? So the notes are like colors to a painter or spices to a chef. Everybody gets to use them, and what comes out is their own thing. But that's my main thing. If I was going to talk to a young kid that wanted to play, my first impression has to be that he feels it's accessible and easy and friendly. It has to be inviting, because people deter you. When I was young, oh man, you know, it's hard, dude. You know, there's this guy down the street, he's hella good. You're never going to be that good, you know? So, yeah, encouragement.
Yes.
No fear.
So who did you, when you started playing guitar, was your first idol? Who did you try to replicate?
Well, the first guitarist I ever saw live when I was 12 was Angus Young. So,
all right.
I think, I have hundreds of guitar heroes that I love. Huge influences on me were, you know, Angus, Boston, Tom Schultz, Michael Schenker, Neil Schon, Uli Roth. All the great 70s players were influences on me. But I've often said, you know, Angus Young is probably the most underrated blues guitar player on the planet. I think definitely the way he plays the lead guitar is my favorite kind of blues, because there's so much fire, like a lightning bolt, you know. But I also like music that's really sparse. You know, I like new age music and music that's kind of atmospheric. I like music that doesn't have guitar, because for me, so used to hearing it, it's refreshing to not hear that. Just hear everything else, you know.
I have one.
So
kind of a weird bird.
So you've written over a couple hundred songs at least, right? Say?
Yeah.
Mark, you've written over a couple hundred songs,
Yes,
correct?
sir.
So what song would you say defines you the most, defines you as your whole person out of all the songs you wrote? Is what would be your signature song, you say, that describes you the best?
Good
one, huh?
Choose from.
Yeah,
well, what song are you most proud of, say?
That's really well, I'm proud of Love Planet music. I'm proud of a lot of things I've been able to do. You know, Love Planet has songs that are more straight ahead, and then we have songs that are more kind of spacey and progressive. There's a song we do called The Stone, which is to our fan base, that's a very special song. It's a nice, long, psychedelic song. It's got lots of melody. It's got, of course, a lot of guitar. But that's a really difficult question for me to answer. That would be really hard to play. It would have to be, you know,
like,
what
what's
band,
your favorite kid?
Kind of. My favorite kid.
Well, hey, you know what? You know, hey, that's
Be
why
like
we're here,
saying,
man.
you know,
We're not
favorite
sugarcoating nothing. We're just getting it out there how it is. So, Halie, you got anything? Halie O'Ryan.
I do. I wanted to hear about your Mickey Thomas moment. How did that audition come about, and what was that experience about for you?
Well, the Mickey Thomas audition, the moment it truly was a moment. But I list it because as a kid, fooling around and fell in love. I mean, his vocal on that, like, it brings me back to my youth. A good friend of mine, another great guitar player, Jeff Tamalier, who played with Tower Power for many years. He ran a studio in Sacramento called the Track Shack. And he hired me to come in and do some guitar tracks for Mickey Thomas's Marauder album, which was an album full of covers. And he had a lot of players on that record. And so I ended up playing guitar on the version of Gimme Shelter, Maybe I'm Amazed, Delta Lady, which is a Joe Cocker song, and an AC/DC song, Money Talks, which Jeff had me play in an open tuning. So it had like a bluesy quality, even though the guitar sound was like AC/DC. So, but yeah, that was, I mean, I would have done the session no matter who was singing because it's one of the things I do. But to be in the same room with Mickey Thomas while I was recording the parts, and to know that I'm on tracks with him was really special, and I'd seen him live many times before that. And so thank you, Jeff, for making that happen. But yeah, that was a thrill.
You should see you smile when you talk about it.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool.
That's super.
Really nice guy.
What a gratitude moment. Okay, guys, I want to do a little shift here. And I think we need to just put Halie into the hot seat now. And let's do a quick shifty. And let's talk about Halie, because I love that you're sitting here with all these questions, but girlfriend, you are literally okay. So Halie comes over. I meet Halie. Then we go out to this local bar and just to hang out right before this whole COVID thing. And she gets up and she just shreds on stage. She just has a blast. I mean, this little tiny local bar in this little tiny town. And it was seriously just incredible. And how that you went around, you made friends with everybody. It was seriously great to observe. But what I also observed is that you are a fabulous musician as well as a lyricist. You sing like a bird. Literally, she's like a bird.
Mark, this is crazy.
Sing, Halie, sing. Come on.
Oh. That was
no, we're gonna start it off like this. We're gonna start it off like this. Halie O'Ryan. Halie O'Ryan. You have been around the world. You performed in front of 1,000 people at many venues shows. Yes, been on many Plowzone shows. People adore you from around the world. What keeps you going, Halie O'Ryan? What keeps you going every day? What keeps you inspired every day?
Really good question. And then I wanted to address that bar because it's similar. I don't need, I'm not a rich woman, and that's not always popular. I'm not a poor woman. I swim even, but I have enough. I don't need a new piece of jewelry, and I don't need I'm blessed with what I have. I got my motorcycle, my guitar, and I've got the basics. My animals are fed. I'm happy. But what I do need is for people to stop arguing. And what I do need is for people to stop being blue or red or whatever their colors are. And I need them to stop nitpicking, and I need them to stop tearing apart an amazing earth beyond the environment, which is, we could talk hours about that. But I started out as a street kid when I was 12 and a half, and that's not something I bring out all the time. And I had a little moped then, and I would ride endless miles in the Santa Cruz Mountains just to kind of stay safe. And what I really needed was a better earth. I needed better people, and it's not a clique. I've never been in one. I can be a little klutzy. I'm strong on stage, but as a person, I'm either back in the curtains helping, or I'm on stage. I'm not in the middle much, I'm a germaphobe too, on a good day. But what keeps me going is the pockets of energy. I found something in my little world, and I don't want to, Deb, you say freedom, right? I just don't want to say the wrong words, but in an audience, I look at them, and the front row is generally insane. They're wonderful people, but they're really aggressive, and they're up front, and they're right there, and they're amazing people, but they're up front. The back row, in my opinion, is suicidal, and that doesn't mean they're going to take their life, but they're barely in the room. They don't necessarily fit, or they're broken in half, or they barely got out of the car. They're just barely in the room, And when I found that you kind of get over whatever yourself is, and you can start getting energy back, and you see some of those people coming forward, there's millions of them, millions. And to have that light up and turn around is incredible. And that's a huge addiction that feeds me. So that's my question.
Okay. Halie, how many USO shows have you done around the world?
I've done 615 to books and contract, and then probably another 100, maybe a little less than 100 on different platforms, whether it be like Wounded Warriors or all that kind of stuff. But as far as Troop Line or MWR, DOD, or USO, we did 615 total. So a couple.
Yeah.
You know, I should be better than I am, Mark. That's a lot of practice time. It was,
it's like, they're real heroes. They come out for us, and it's beautiful.
oh man, I learned a lot. You know,
It's great.
the very first year that I went there, Deb, I had a CD. I was excited. I had a story to tell through all this music. And so when people like Scott would say, play this song, and they'd be like, I'm on it. You know, I just had all this pouring out of me. I still do, but I'm in a different walk with it at the moment, and have been for most of the year. So when I went there, I get off the airplane and we've got 115 shows booked for my very first out there. And it's not for the week. There's no deli tray. I think I was making $350 a week. It's Korea, and it's minus, who cares, minus 40 or something. I had a guitar. Oh my gosh. Right. And I look out the window, and there's this thing inside the snowbank, and it's a person, and he's been out there for 24 hours on duty. And I really, really very quickly got over myself. And it's not that I was being arrogant, because it's not my blood type, but I just was like, oh my God, you know, these people are 19, 20, 21. They're going to be doctors. They're flying things. They're whatever commercial I saw for the military, even though my dad was Navy, I wasn't raised around that person. And I go, wow, look at this world. And I got over myself, and we started performing for them. So there's times that I've done, one of my favorites, 13 people, including the guy at the gate that could never leave, in the North Korean DMZ, and it's winter and it's miserable. And we found out that this kid does Elvis, and we don't, you know, but we're performing original music and rock tunes too, you know, Pink Floyd, that kind of stuff. And, you know, we went up there and we opened up for him, this soldier that had no idea it was coming, and we decorated him and put him up there, and it became this thing. And so we were his opening act, so to speak, in the North Korean DMZ for this guy. And it's things like that you go, okay, now what is music for? Okay, now
Right.
What is the deal? And there was one guy, I wish I knew his name. That's not coming to me, but he was this amazing, huge guy. He was like 6 foot. He was huge.
Tiny.
He was a very, very tall man, very tall.
Shorty.
And his hands were very large. Just this amazing man, strong warrior guy, right? And we started hosting something at Camp Casey that was, it started out shallowly. It was to not travel 1 day a week, because you're doing 115 shows in a row and you have no downtime. So you talk like this all the time. You just beat, you know, and you shut up because you're not a soldier. You just, you know, but you're tired. So I pitched it so that Sundays we could just donate all of our equipment, set it up at the Community Activity Center, that I'm not going to call by its abbreviation, Scott Reese. And we would let all the soldiers come in and jam, and it became a jam. So we were there 7 or 8 months out of that year in South Korea. And people got better and better, and they would come in with their music and they would play on Sundays. Well, one guy got up for his very first time ever on stage, and it was that guy. It was that big, tall guy. And I later saw him on one of the huge shows, and he was on a grand piano, and he was on
Really?
yeah. And I'm like, it's stuff like that you go, right on, you know? So it's a big world out there. And I think after you see a lot of people not make it psychologically, suicide rate being really high, I think it's a great service to be able to provide an outlet where people can gather and get out sadness and re-strengthen. I believe in God. Not everybody does. I pray for everybody regardless, whatever your thing is. I just feel like it's a really good medium to feel the earth. So.
Yeah, you know, it's a bridge, it's a healer. It can simply be a fun 5 minutes for somebody who likes to dance, but regardless, you know, it's meant to be shared, and you know, it's meant to be about joy, you know, and feeling good, you know.
Yeah. And I would like more.
That's
musicians.
right. You know, Halie also has a history in radio. Halie, why don't you give us a little bit of some of your radio past? You've done some amazing things around the world, and you've interviewed some of the most iconic people in the industry, man. If you want to share a little bit of that about what you did back east, or say.
got to interview Mickey, which is why I was excited that you got to do some stuff with Mickey. That's not why I was happy for you, genuinely, but I know that he's also a nice heart. So I think that's pretty cool. I have done a lot of radio, Deb, I should enunciate better for the amount of radio I have done.
I think you enunciate just fine.
I'm working on it. It's a great medium, you guys. I'm really proud of all this. In this era of radio, money doesn't always flow on it. It's not raining all the time like it used to. And I think it's more important right now because we can actually not be censored. In a few of the eras of radio, I would have a PD come in, program director, and just slice through everything I was going to say. And I could basically talk about sunshine on a day a plane crashed. So you're like, what is that? It's just more fake candy for the planet, and I'm not interested in that. So I'm really proud of what you guys are doing.
Mr. Plowman.
Very cool. So, Halie O, you want to give a Halie O report about anything or what? Just Halie O on the go? Get some of your old radio kind of shtick back or anything?
Go broadcast for the Scott Plowman birthday party where I saw lots of people groan floating down large mountains at high speeds. I had an innocent man bet against me for driving a Harley, so I had to. It was a great day. So as far as an on-the-go report, what I get to do now, I prefer to be out of the studio more than in the studio. So I can literally go in, highlight people, and get out of it and let them shine. And I think that magnifies in each community. If you do that enough, then people will start talking and helping each other and get out of the way. We'll let them shine, right? And it's a really fun addiction to be able to get into community like that.
So we also did, Mr. Plowman had his 50th birthday, and that was pretty fun. That was pretty fun. Tell us a little about that, Mr.
Was
Plowman.
it, man? I'm still sore, man. I'm still sore. So is this it?
This is it.
Yep, here we go. Well, it's trying to go. Hold on here, guys. Oh, Jiminy Crickets. Wait, which one is it?
It's playing.
There we go.
I see it.
All right, everybody. We have the Smoking Jokers right there with Halie O'Ryan. Get up there. Also, we got Ape Shit Shenanigans with Rue. And Next Method. That's right. Chris Myers right there with Jace. Very cool stuff. Little jam session right there. We had a great time, man. We had a great time. Our brother showed up and surprised me. It was something to remember.
There's just no sound. There's sound on the video.
I don't hear no sound on the video.
No, but it looks like a great time. That was such a great birthday.
It does. Looks like fun.
Yes, it was.
Well, that was fun with no sound.
It was fun.
So, anyways, if you want to get the whole version,
Jiminy Crickets.
man, check out, man, the Plowzone Gone Wild.
I heard it.
It'll be on up on YouTube. It'll also be on our page. There we go.
Damn.
no
So we
sound.
heard it, but y'all didn't hear it. Oh my aching butt.
Kind of good, man.
I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it.
All right,
Well,
what I
that
did
was
there
Anyways,
was-
hey, the Plowzone. Go to our website, the Plowzone Radio Show, for the video. Also, Plowzone Radio Show on Facebook. Debbie G,
yes.
you're not fired.
Thank
You're
you.
just remanded, or whatever you call it.
Well, looky here.
You're-
Looky here. Looky here.
Got
Looky,
rings?
looky.
Good job.
All right. Before we go, I know that there was a couple of things that, first off, I'd like to know how that we can support you in whatever efforts that you've got going on today.
Mark.
All right. How can people get a hold of you? What is it that, what kind of offerings do you have so that we can help get the word out about whatever it is you're doing?
Just go to loveplanet.net, LUVplanet.net. And you can find out about the band and our history. We have a new record dropping pre-sale on iTunes and Amazon on June 5th. Hard copy release on the first day of summer. And, stay tuned. We're going to be bringing nice, positive rock and roll to you soon. And we are open to contributing to community-based events and causes. So don't be afraid to reach out.
Really? Community-based event? Where's your band at? Is your band all in the local area or what?
This
We're in
is,
Sonoma
I know,
County.
right?
Yeah, we're all based here.
Is your band in the local
Pardon?
area, Mark, or what? Is it in Northern California or what?
Yeah, 707.
Well, why don't you come on down to
707
Ozcat
something,
Studios
something.
tomorrow? Bring the band, baby.
All right, we'll talk about that, Plowman.
Definitely.
Okay, well, here's your invite, man. Come on in studio, man. So for sure. Anybody want to add
great.
anything or what?
Yeah, I want to know how to get a hold of Halie now.
Okay, on my
Halie?
end,
Oh,
on my end, what I'm offering right now is songwriting sessions, not producing, because I don't do any of that. I could use some of that support. So if there's some people out there that want to do some bartering, that'd be awesome. And if not, we'll work out the details. But I'm offering songwriting coaching, performance coaching. I don't think I'm a be all end all, but just like you can be my eyes, I can be yours, and I can take what I've learned from the planet and help. So I offer that to kids and adults. And then you can donate on Zelle under my name, Halie O'Ryan. You can do that or buy lessons. I have not, this is the first time I've ever actually mentioned donate. I'd rather have you get lessons or trade me something or do good, because it allows me to have a really good goal that day to be able to be of service. And for some reason, I really need that. It feeds me. So it's a win-win. So I'd much rather earn it than just have you donate it. So if there's something you can think, or if there's a birthday party that we can come sing outside somebody's door, we would love that. We're in Northern California, where I am.
Awesome.
I got some money for a guitar lesson.
There you go. The other thing I wanted to add was the motorcycle groups have been really, really amazing by doing pretty safe gatherings. And so we've got 4 of those arranged. So if there's acoustic players out there that are interested, pack light, right? then you could contact me at Halie O'Ryan on Facebook, and we'll see if we can put you in some circulation for some gigs. Not a ton of them, but they're starting. So I just want to extend that brotherhood and sisterhood out there. Leave your attitudes behind, right? And I'll try to do the same. Forgive me for my imperfections, and thank you for letting me express myself through music and radio. It's awesome.
Thank you, Halie O. Thank you. And thank you, Mark McGee, for coming on the Plowzone Radio Show, the Plowzone Gone Wild.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Plowzone Gone Wild.
Plowzone Gone
That's right.
Wild.
You can find it tomorrow live in studio at Ozcat Studios in Vallejo, California from 6 to 9 p.m. And we're going to have some in-studio guests, man, and jamming live on the radio. And Mark, you have an invite if you want to come and bring your band.
Thank you, sir.
And we spotlight you, the independent artists, the people who love to make the music. And if you want to get interviewed with us, hit us up on what, Scott Reese?
PlowzoneRadioshow.com. Oops, wrong way. And we have a great guest next week. His name is Peyton King. He is on TikTok. You guys all know what TikTok is, right?
Yep.
We are going to be interviewing Peyton King, and he's got a couple followers on TikTok. So we're just going to give Peyton a little visit next week. It'll be fun.
Oh my God, that's going to be nuts. All right, guys. Well, thank you everybody for hanging out tonight, enjoying the Plowzone Got Wild, 2 plows up, and peace out. And tomorrow, make sure you check out Spirituality Gone Wild for all of the awesome stuff. This episode was brought to you by Advanced Therapeutic Services. So if you know anybody that is in need and needs support and recovery, please message Spirituality Gone Wild. I'll hook you up with some of the best centers from around the country. Make that around the world. I got a UK connect too. It's a way better connect than what you got going on right now. Trust me. Hit us up. Okay.
Rock on.
All right.